Welcome back to the channel. This is a little video about my photography trip to the City2surf event in Sydney that hosted somewhere, like, I think they were saying 90,000 people ran in this event, not to mention the people that followed in person throughout the whole course, the people that were volunteering, the event organizers, the TV personnel, the photographers, the security. This must be 500,000 people who get involved in this event to put it on every year, and it's awesome. This is the first time that I've really been interested in it because I've started running, and it's my whole personality, so I had to show up to this. Like all these other people, we're zombies. We have to go to running events. It's on Strava. So I've gone down not to run but to take photos, and I made a bit of a passion project. I had an idea of a photo in mind, and I think I got it. It's one of the last 3 photos in the video. You can skip ahead if you want, but right now this is me loading up some film in the Canon 650. It's Ilford HP5 black and white film. It's 400 rated film, but I've pushed it to 800, and I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm doing this thing just quickly with landscape photography. My lenses aren't too big and I'm not getting some distance that I want in the city, so I've started just tilting the camera. I'm not shooting up anymore, I'm shooting sideways. And I think it gives something different to buildings, a perspective that you wouldn't necessarily see or you wouldn't necessarily think of straight away, because they're sideways. Most buildings are parallel, vertical. Okay, so I had the photo I had in mind to getting, you could only get from straight at the starting line, looking straight at the starting line. So I figured out where that was going to be. I rocked up in the morning and turns out there was a bunch of photographers there. The camera choices that I chose today are my go-tos right now. So it's my Sony A7Riii with a 70-200, thought that would be quite appropriate for this scene, and the 650 with a Tamron 24-70. I've had that lens for a long time. It's a great lens. This is what you can see from the mobile phone. It's a pretty far distance. Now, I would have loved to have a 100 to 400mm lens. We have one of those in the office. I wish I was able to test that out for this. That would have been great. But I didn't have it, so I just used what I had, but I think I did still capture something nice. The film photos that I'm doing for this video represent more like behind the scenes images of the day, really. I probably was focusing more on my digital camera more than anything else. You can see this guy, he had a media pass, so he must have been a professional that was working there. He was nice. I should have had a chat with him, but you can see the type of lenses that he's got on. That is some proper kit. I don't even know what they are. They look like they could be 300mm lenses or 500mm that make 600mm lenses. I have no idea. Great event for Sydney siders to just watch, really. Like this guy, I got a couple of photos of him with his daughter, and it just looked awesome that they were watching. But she had a nice jacket on, so I thought the color pop. The starting line is right down there, and they started pretty much on cue. There was a big puff of smoke that I didn't really capture. Actually, I did capture it, but I didn't care about the photo. But you can see here they've got this streak of light coming through some of the buildings, and that happens throughout the day, but I thought it was really cool. What I wanted was a shot of thousands of people in one place looking like confetti running down this street. I thought it was super abstract and you wouldn't see it in most places. This is almost the exact example that I'm looking for. I just didn't love that there were people's heads in the way. But who cares? Like, it's pretty much going to be inevitable. You'll see a few of the shots later on don't have as much of a distraction. Okay, so along with the digital stills and the film stills, I did shoot a little bit of video footage with the Sony A7Riii. It's a great film camera. I've used it for video camera. I've used it for a long time. I used it in 25 frames a second, and then I switched it to S&Q and shot it in I think it's 100 frames per second in S&Q is what I set it to. So a lot of this footage is 100 frames per second, and it just bakes it in. I think it looks nice. What I've been testing out with the footage just recently with the A7Riii, it doesn't have S-Cinetone built in, and I love shooting in S-Cinetone. So I went on to Google and I figured out what settings can just replicate it. And what you're seeing now is unedited what they figured was close to S-Cinetone. I pretty much was just setting manual exposure, so it was the same as my photography, just manual exposure and everything. So this is what you can see. Nice drag queens just kind of stirring up the crowd, like a little sassy, to be honest, but I don't mind that. I run with headphones in, so I wouldn't have even heard them, but some people would have heard them, and they were really funny. You can see this is mobile phone footage. I hope you can tell the difference between the phone footage and the camera footage, but all the zoom ins are a bit crazy. There's our little lineup. I was having a chat with some of the other photographers, and I don't know, like they must have looked at my kit and thought he's not really doing anything proper. And to be honest, I wasn't. If I was here for work, we have a kit full of more cameras that I would have used. You can see me doing the vertical, the tilt with it. Here's the photo of that guy with his daughter again. This is all shooting in auto, so I don't even know what, I wish it burnt in, like what settings it actually used, but I imagine it was shooting at f8 for most of it. There was a lot of light. I probably didn't need to shoot at ISO 800 towards the end of the day, but I mean, I'm just trying to punch in as much light as I can. And you can see not a lot of motion blur in the film photos, so shooting it an extra stop probably is not the worst thing. People dress up a lot, you can just see, and I thought that was a bit of a focus. And these are a couple more photos of the big crowds, and you can see just a couple of old people running around. I guess I did mix a couple of, I didn't really care about these individual photos, but you can see a couple of happy snaps that I've taken through it, and a little bit of, to be honest, a lot of FOMO. There's a lot of beautiful, sexy people that went out on this run, and I just so badly wanted to be one of them. But I was had run a fair bit throughout the week, and I was a little bit buggered, to be honest. Couple of just wider shots. I didn't really know exactly what I was trying to do with my wide angle lens, but I started, after the race was going on, I took enough photos from, oh, here you can see some of the, like that's a real gorilla. No, it's a guy in a costume. But you can see he's like right in front of the camera and he thinks he's like in focus, but that's probably a zoom lens. Okay, so now you can see right down the barrel, this is the kind of shot that I wanted. This wasn't my favorite shot because it was a little bit thinner in the front of the crowd. But you'll see, I'm really looking forward to showing you my last photos. You can skip forward ahead if you want. Some people dressing up as cows. I love these girls. They pretty much they knew exactly where the cameras were, and they must be seasoned runners. They know that they can get some photos. Some of them, you can tell they were looking at me, and whether they think I'm an official photographer or not, they won't see these photos ever. So, I mean, what a waste of looking into my direction. But I was standing next to all these other photographers, so this guy's locked in, and so is the autofocus. A7Riii doesn't miss a beat. Okay, here we go. This lady, she had a media pass. She had an old Canon, she had an old Sony. It must have been an original A7, and it looked beat up, but she was awesome. She was on the other side of the barrier, taking some photos, taking some nice shots. You can see down the street a couple of things. There is one photo in this section that I think I do like. We're going to get to it. This dog was loving it. I should have really got a close-up of the dog with the people in the background, but sometimes I lack the confidence to jump in front of people's faces and do whatever. I think it's this next photo is really nice. You can see the ladies, everyone's lined up really nicely, nice backlit, everyone's kind of detailed, and you can just see the bystanders sitting under the sign. It's a bike lane. No, okay, it's a running lane for purposes of today. Okay, so I've finished pretty much walking down the track that I was on, down the main Thorough strip, and this is back at the top where everybody kind of lines up and does their thing, and they just pretty much have waves and waves of people lined up, ready to go, and they just send them out by colors, wave after wave after wave from different directions, and you'll see a little bit later on, a little behind the scenes photo of what separates people. But they're all really organized. Everyone who is there pretty much has done it before. Okay, who is this minion guy? Now, he actually has featured in our videos before. In this suit, Am I about to reveal Bruce Wayne? In this suit is my friend Ed. He's such a crack up. And every year, he's not paid, but he gets everyone riled up about it. He dresses up as a minion and he's inside that suit. He's sweaty as all hell. I've seen him get out of it. It's horrendous. But he loves it and he dresses up as a minion, and lots of people, lots of families, lots of young families will come up, just like this lady, will come up and they'll get photos, they'll get selfies. He's like jumping around and he's like moving his arms a little bit. But Ed's a crack up, and he's actually the one that asked me to come to Hyde Park and take some photos and videos of him doing this. So I made sure to walk up and spend some time with him and capture this moment for him as well, because he really enjoys being there with the energy of the people. And so do I. And it's really cool to see what he does. So you can see a couple more photos. This is what I mean by the directions. So everyone pretty much just, I guess when they register, they must just get given colors, and then they know where to go for their muster point to be sent off into the race. And then the announcers are just shooting people off and off and off. And for everybody who's not in the starting race, it's not about finishing time. It's just about getting there. They're not trying to win. They're just doing it for their own thing. I've had some photos in Hyde Park that you can see where this is completely empty. And you can see here it's just chockers full of people. This shot was a little darker than what I expected. I don't know what happened with the exposure, but might have been exposing for the light, the sun behind it. I always take photos of Centrepoint Tower. It's so iconic in Sydney. And you can see underneath it is just it's hard to even really tell. It looks like a tent. But it's just a stack of clothes. People leave their jumpers. They get there in the morning at something like some dumb hour, like 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when I was there. I think the race started at 7:35. But it's cold. It's cold in August in Sydney, and they pretty much come in winter gear, but they have to leave their jumpers. No one's taken any of their jumpers, so they pretty much just leave them. And I think it's St. Vincent de Paul's, Vinnie's, will pick them up and give them away or take them to the shelters or something, or they do something with them, but they are collecting heaps of them. I thought that guy with the newspaper, he had a badge to compete in the event, so he was just going to catch up on his newspaper, sit there in the park, and then go to his muster point. Towards the end of the day, I did stop shooting. Once I got into the crowd, I stopped shooting with my Sony because I just had a telephoto lens, and I didn't really care at that point. I got the photos that I wanted, those crowd shots. So I was just trying to burn off the rest of this film, and you can see just masses of people. So I was just trying to capture a little bit of the vibe. Again, didn't have too much of an idea. I should have really been a little bit more proactive about getting shots of people, getting ready, but I don't know. I'm a little bit more of a passive photographer in a lot of these senses, but I am really proud of the last 3 photos that you'll see in just a minute. This video is not my longest video, but it has dragged on a little. I hope you appreciate seeing the City2surf, and this, I mean, is my first time, so I really appreciated going to it more than anything. I'm considering taking this on a holiday. So it's the Canon 650 with the Tamron 24-70. It's autofocus. The autofocus is pretty quick, to be honest, and it exposes quite well. I think I'm going to go on a holiday later in the year. I'm actually going to Vietnam for about a month. There you go, Ed running down. He actually did cross the line in the end. What a champion. Anyway, I'm taking that camera overseas to Vietnam, and I think I'll take that exact kit. I will bring a 50mm, but I think I'll shoot the 24-70 for most of it. And I think it's going to be a riot. It's going to be pretty fun. Towards the end of the race, when everybody else was kind of doing their last things, I did also cross the finish line, or sorry, the starting line. And these 3 photos are some of my favorites. So this photo at the end, actually my brother, who may watch this or may not, he actually is a fantastic photographer in his own right. And he said that was a great photo, so I really appreciated that one as well. The Coke sign just in the end of it, I thought was just a striking thing. Everybody who knows Sydney or knows this area knows this image. And I mean, I love the exposure. I like the trees. I like the colors in it. I didn't tweak the colors too much, but I do have a couple things that I do in Lightroom to tweak some photos, but I'm mostly just matching exposure, changing the color tones a little bit, but not too much. I love this, and I got a nice perspective. This is from the front of the crowd. That previous photo was from... This house makes weird noises. That previous photo was from the back of the crowd. This one's from the front of the crowd. I like that I put the effort in to go from front to back, and this is essentially the photo that I wanted throughout the entire day. I came in the morning thinking, what photo do I want? And this photo encapsulates what I wanted. I wanted a street, end to end, length of it, full of people. You can't see much of the dead space, but I'll point out a few things that I think I love about this photo. First of all, you can see right in the background the City2surf logo in the back, the colors. Even if you can't make them out, like, people would know that that's the logo for it all. In the very front underneath it, you can see this guy who just has the word run on his shirt. Instantly, what is the event? It's a running event. Fantastic. Now, you wouldn't know this next part unless you were watching the event a little bit closer, but he was actually pretty famous at this point. The guy in the orange, what does he have? He has like the sponsored shirt or something, the Voltron City2surf Run official shirt. He actually sprinted out to the front of the crowd. I'll put a video in it later on, but he put a lot of effort in at the start, and he sprinted out in front of the people who were leading the pack. And for probably about 200 meters, he was winning the City2surf. And I just thought it was cool. You would have seen a photo of him earlier in the video as well, but I think it's cool that he made this image. And whether or not people care about it or not, he's orange, he stands out. He's there. You can see the elements. It's a mass of people. It's run. It's this orange dude, and it's City2surf, and I just thought it was really cool. Doesn't even bark at the knees to this next photo. I love this image. I just think that this might be one of my strongest images that I've ever captured. And I mean, a lot of people talk about making images, and going to the City2surf, attending the event, having an image in mind and coming out with it is something where I can actually say I went out and I made this image. I love this. I love it, the end-to-end, people-to-people. I shot, finally, I don't always shoot this, but I shot in uncompressed RAW. Pretty rare for me. I love to save some storage when I can, but these photos were worth it. And I've actually bumped up the sharpening a tad in this image just to make sure I can see it. I might do a little bit of a test and see how nicely it prints. It's a bit weird having 1,000 people in a photo all looking towards you, but I don't mind. It freaked me out. I might end up having nightmares of them. But this was my favorite image throughout the entire day. It's a crop in of the last image, actually, so I might do a little side-by-side comparison. I'll actually show you them now, actually. Right next to each other, you're looking at them now. And yeah, okay, whatever. That's about it. So that was City2surf, and I'm really happy with the fact that I went out to there. I would love to capture more running events in the future. So how do you think I went? What did you like about it? Did you like the film? Did you like the A7Riii? Do you want to see more digital? Do you want to see more film? Or whatever you want to see, I think I can put something together. But you will like the next couple of videos that I've got going out. I've got a big old vlog of underexposing films to push it, and I gotta say, 3 rolls of film in a row. I gotta say, these are some of the worst rolls of film that I've shot in this year. I'm a little embarrassed to show it, but I'm gonna show these videos anyway. God damn, I'm a little nervous, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna push through, and I want to show my best work, which could be the City2surf, and I want to show my dodgy work as well, which could be these underexposing videos. And it's all learning, and that's what I love about photography. No one's the best. Everyone's got something to learn and someone to learn from. And anyway, it's all a process. It's all about the journey. Got to trust the process, and you got to take the good with the bad. All right, well, whatever. Like and subscribe to this video if you want. Leave a comment. Definitely leave a comment. I mean, I don't mind responding to comments, and I don't get too many of them. Once I get bogged down with them, I'm going to start doing less of it. But I've been look through my other videos. Some people are starting some conversations, and I appreciate it. So I hope you had a great day. And if you did stay to the end of this video, what's your pace? What are you running for City2surf? How are you going? And yeah, not really much else. Okay.